What's up, guys? Welcome back to Pro Gamer Manager. This is part 15, I believe. I believe it is 15. We are going to be spending some points to start it all off. Always go to this screen for some reason when we start the game, when we start the recordings, but there you go. Maybe this episode will actually win some games because it was not going really well. We're gonna do some cover, man. We're gonna switch it up a little bit. I know many people recommended the rotation as the right thing to do, but you know what? This game, we're gonna be all about providing that cover and see if we can maybe turn around a couple of games. And guess what? We are the flop, so maybe it was not the right idea to switch it up at all. Because the last couple of matches have just not gone our way at all. So let's maybe let's do a little flanking. We're just gonna have a little fun this episode, guys. We're not gonna be following the real good criteria. We're gonna see what works for us. What we just want to win a game, all right? We just want to win, and there we go. MVP, get a little bit of win where we need it. You know, all we've been doing the whole last episode, we only won one match, so it's a bit depressing to go from winning nothing to winning a pretty good amount, you know, and getting up into the gold league and so on, and then end up just flopping the whole episode. And it's tough to just constantly lose because you're not getting anywhere. You're not going in the direction that you want to go in. Obviously, we want to get into being the best player and being able to be on the top, but you can't do that unless, you know, you're able to actually, you know, do what you're hoping to do. So, we will see if we can continue to turn that around. 1-2 in a row, which is great. Now, watch me. I'm going to jinx it all, and we're going to just lose them from now on. That'll be my luck. But we're just going to keep playing it a little bit. Just, see if we can get some more knowledge points. See if we can get into that Platinum League this episode. That would be awesome. I'm not sure how low it has to be. And we're flopping again. No. Oh, we're just flopping all over the shop right now. We're just getting up and flopping like never before. Maybe we'll play a couple Deagle games, man. Just, is this gonna be like the troll episode? We're just Deagle play. We're gonna deagle it up. Well, 16-2, not bad. Won again. It's pretty good. It's important to be able to get up there. We're getting that eco management up, which is important because after that it's only what was it? What is it after that? I just looked at it and I didn't really pay that much attention to it. So we'll see. We're going to find out right now. We're going to find out. What is it that's above the eco management? Op. The opping. We need to be able to be an opper. Come on now. Don't you know? Even though we don't use the op, and, you know, it's not like our position really requires the op, in my opinion. But you never know, man. Sometimes everybody wants to grab an op and have a little fun, you know, here and there. Sometimes you just gotta have a nice time, just enjoy what you're doing, and sometimes you just gotta stream. You know what I'm saying? Just sometimes just hit the stream, have some fun, do what you're doing. Oh man, look at this. We're on Steam. Let's go offline. Here we go. Bam. So if you were on that friends list, shout out to you, man. Getting that recognition. Gotta make sure you go that offline. You don't want nobody coming in and messaging you. Shh, we're not really here. Entry fragger, however you say that. Delithroyal will be hard to face. Any advice? Why do you... Alright, so why does the team ask me advice but don't let me... Am I the coach? Like, I feel like in this moment, they hired me on not as a player but as the coach. Come on now. I'm not trying to be no coach right now. Not right now. That's for the future. That's after the gaming career's done. We hit the coach up. You know, do that. But it's like, come on now. Let's just play some defensive play, man. It's opposite of what we usually do, and we haven't been winning very many matches as far as the league goes. So maybe switching it up a little bit and playing a little more defensive rather than the aggressive that we're always playing. Maybe that'll help us out here. You know, against a team that's probably done a little bit of scouting on us, done a little bit of heads up, you know, trying to learn a little bit about us. Maybe if we switch it up just a pinch, they, you know, maybe they won't be ready for what we're gonna throw at them, which is lots of pain, man. We're just gonna bring the pain train. You're not gonna see it coming, and we're gonna win 16-3 with an AK-47, because that's what we do. That's what we do. We just come in, we sneak up on you in the middle of the night. We'll bring that AK, and we just say, "Hi, how are you? It's very nice to meet you. My name's Huss, and I'm gonna beat you in this match today." You know, we're very formal. We're not trash talkers. We like to be like, "Hello, hi, hola." You know, just all kinds of language. Oh, we've broken into the top 10 grand, the top 10,000 players. We are one of them. We are among the top 10,000 players, which is pretty. It's a pretty big achievement, in my opinion, being able to go from being in the top 50,000 to being in the top 10,000 now, you know, and still getting closer to the eventual goal of being number one, you know. And at the moment, you would think that if you're this level and you're a lot better than some of the other players, that they would let you start, but you know, it doesn't seem to be the case. We may end up leaving if we don't get a start soon, you know. I guess the way you have to look at it is, see, in the manager mode, where you were still, like, you played a game every single time you ticked over to, like, the next day. But in this, there's only one match a week, right? But the length of the season is still the same. So even though, you know, it takes longer, it's going to take even longer for the season to end. So if you're the manager and you're thinking of it as we were the manager, there's only been a couple of matches that have gone by. They may not see a necessity for needing to change a player around, right? And they picked up a entry fragger, but who knows what their financial situation is. The team could be in a great spot, and this is kind of just a sub player, and they really don't need to bring them in immediately. They can kind of just let them sit there, let them watch how their team plays, right? Because there's always that big dynamic in games that are like 5v5 games like this, or if you're in a MOBA, you know, 5v5, whatever, right? Halo or COD or any of those kinds of games, that there's a team synergy going on. And if you add a new player in immediately, there's a lack of that team synergy because you just haven't played together. You know, it's not that player's fault per se. Like, technically it is, but it's not like he didn't mean to make it his fault, right? Because what he is doing unintentionally is he's just not someone who's been with the organization for all this time. So the organization has a lack of experience with the way that he plays and the way that his play will react to the way that your other players are playing. So I can get that in this situation where I'm a brand new player to these guys. These guys have no idea how I play besides what they've heard, right? So for me, when I was a manager in StarCraft, I scouted players that I wanted to pick up to my team, right? And although it is still, that's a 1v1 game, you still have a sense of you want to get a player, but you don't know everything about them, right? You don't really know absolutely everything about maybe a player's personality, right? You don't know exactly what their personality is going to be like or how they're going to react when they lose. I've had situations where I've had players that are amazing and are very upstanding guys. They know how to take a loss, and they know how to take it well, right? But I've had the opposite also. I've had players that I've had to get rid of, and I've had to make public apologies, right? Because of the actions that these players have done, right? Because every action has a consequence, whether it's a positive consequence or a negative consequence. Every action that you do where other people can see it, it's gonna have a consequence, right? And a lot of guys, especially when they're a little younger, right? When they're younger, and when I say younger, right? And I'm not excluded from this younger category, right? Because I'm 20 years old. If no one's known how old I am, I'm 20 years old. Congratulations, you now know, right? But, you know, there are other players who are, and I'd say anybody that's really under the age of like 23 is will have immature moments per se, okay? So being in a position like I was with a management of a team, right? It gave me a certain, like, you had to almost grow up a little bit, right? Because the players, if you act stupid and you act immature, the players will then act immature. So you can't expect the players to act mature and act like professionals, you know, even though they may not be doing this for a living, but you still expect them to act like professionals in these situations. So, you know, you as the manager has to act a certain way. You have to be a professional person, right? You have to be the most mature and be able to take every loss well. Because if you don't, what ends up happening is people talk. People will talk if you act a certain way and you just are not really, you know, you're just not acting the way that you should. You know, so I've had guys that are just, they take losses and they say things and they don't get that when you say things like this person did. I'm not going to name names because I'm not going to start any drama like that. But, you know, if someone's watching who has managed with me, he's going to know exactly who it is. But the person, when they were called out about it, and when they were told that this happened, they didn't get that. They didn't understand that because they did this certain thing, it had a consequence. And its consequence was not a slap on the wrist. It was a complete end of you being on this organization, right? It's over immediately, right? Because not only did that affect him, but that affected everybody in the organization. That affected the organization as a whole, like as a single entity, you know. So you just, if there's anything to take out of this, right, and you are someone who likes esports, or you want to get in esports, either as a caster, manager, player, producer, editor, content creator, whatever you want to do, right? Because the thing is, esports is amazing, right? Esports is amazing because esports has so many different things that you can get into. There's so many different things that you can do in esports. And yeah, we'll get the lurker on them. And because esports is so young, esports is just getting, it's just in its infancy still, right? It's been around for quite a few years now, but it's only been big for the last, like, you know, 2 or 3. So, you know, when you look at sports, right? I'm American, so let's say we're talking about American football, or even football or soccer if you're American. Those sports, right? Let's say soccer or football, depending on where you're from, right? I'm going to call it soccer because I'm American. Soccer. That sport has so much structure to it, right? It's got so much structure. It's got so much just stuff going on, right? but it's been around for so long, and it's been an organized sport for many years, right? I'm not a big person into it, and I couldn't tell you when it got started or anything like that, but it has been around for a long time. There's no way to other way to put that. It's been around for a long time, and there's so many opportunities in that, you know, on all different levels, right? As in the organization side, in the playing side, in the casting side, whatever, right? Because it's world renowned, right? Esports is going that direction, right? It may take 30 years, it may take 40 years, it may not happen in my lifetime, but from the way that the world is moving and the way that esports has shown itself to be moving in, it is a future, like, worldwide phenomenon. And if you want to get in esports, from all this rambling that's happened for the last however many minutes, I just plead to you and say, please, just act mature. Just whatever you do, always think before you speak. And think about all the things that could be affected by you saying one thing. But yeah, that's going to be it. And that's going to be it for the episode, guys. Sorry if you didn't like the waffling on. I apologize. But, you know, we sometimes you get into a topic and you just gotta let it out. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you have a comment, question, or concern, leave it in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next